Presenting our second AIM Vision Award today is Jack Derby, a longtime member of the AIM Board of Directors who was named earlier this year as the Cummings Family Professor of Entrepreneurship at Tufts University and Director of the Tufts Entrepreneurship Center. It's a pleasure to have Jack join us. He's been a huge supporter of AIM, me, our senior team, for many years. And so, Jack, so glad you could be here today to present this honor.
Great. Excellent. Rick's correct. I've got the privilege of being an AIM director, have for a long time. And I have the privilege of being named the Cummings Family Professor of Entrepreneurship at Tufts. Most importantly, this afternoon, I have the privilege of, on behalf of AIM, providing the 2018 Vision Award to two extraordinary people who really represent what is best and what is good in the Massachusetts business community. I would say what Bill and Joyce have provided is an extraordinary, maybe an unprecedented commitment to philanthropy in Massachusetts. The Cummings and Cummings Properties, how many of you, including myself, have grown up in Cummings Properties? I started a company up in Woburn, lots of people, 11 million square feet of commercial real estate, provide $21 million of funding to about 560 organizations, largely here in the Commonwealth. And those organizations are working in social justice, healthcare, education, and doing social good. An extraordinary commitment to Massachusetts and to the people who really care. Melinda Gates, the co-founder of the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, says this, and I quote this: "My friend Bill Cummings writes that he rejects the phrase, 'give until it hurts.' And rather, Joyce and Bill use this phrase, 'give until it feels good.'" An extraordinary commitment on the behalf of two people who have made a huge difference in all of our lives and in the lives of those organizations that they lift up and make commitments to here in the Commonwealth. Let's take a look at a video.
Organizations can spend an enormous amount of time in raising the funds to support the work they're doing. But if we can save that for the small organizations, then we feel that's a real success story. Cummings Properties operates something in the vicinity of 80 or 90 buildings, operates entirely in Massachusetts. It's actually entirely in Middlesex and Essex counties in Massachusetts. Cummings Properties uses all of its profits to support Cummings Foundation. There's probably 1,000 organizations that have been significant grant recipients. Altogether, the foundation has given about $200 million in eastern Massachusetts. We wanted to put funds back into the communities where we drew our income.
We started raising money in 2007, so I had brought in an engineer, and as he was looking at the walls, he said he had to shut us down. And I kind of chuckled with him and said, well, we're not going to release 1,400 kids on the city today. That's not a great idea. He said, it's my license, look at the walls. So we were really in a tight situation here where the building was ready to come down. You know, one of the people whose door I knocked on first was Bill Cummings, who stepped right up for us.
A focus of our organization is that we are building centered, that we are a place where kids can go. The club is so much more than a building, and what the kids learn here really has nothing to do with the walls that surround them, but having a building that's like this and that's so welcoming to kids and teenagers is really important to us. We're really, really indebted to Bill for his advice and guidance over the years, but particularly with this new building project.
Some of you may be aware of a book that Bill has recently authored. I'm impressed by his business card. Here it's got this great picture of this fellow, and it has the one word, author. So on behalf of AIM and of course of the foundation, we have these books available to you as you leave. I've read the book a couple of times, and I would suggest it applies to those of you who are business executives, my students, it applies to entrepreneurs. Throw it in the beach bag, read it a couple of times, you will not be disappointed. On behalf of the association, I'd now like to welcome both Bill and Joyce Cummings to accept the 2018 AIM Vision Award.
This is really quite overwhelming, and I thank everyone here that was involved in what's happening today. I also want to congratulate the other award winners. We are certainly in good company. The book was mentioned. Bill wants to talk a little bit more about that. We also have just recently launched a new program called Sustaining Grants that Bill wants to, well, we both want to share information about it. So I'm going to yield the rest of my time to Bill to bring you up to date on what Cummings Foundation is doing. Thank you.
I have to first of all thank Jack for that wonderful book tour aid. That was terrific, Jack. Thank you. We put out the first edition of Starting Small and Making It Big with how many copies? 600. Printed in Lowell, 600 copies. About the same time, James Comey put out his new book. 600,000 copies. So we've got a long way to go there, but I think we're up to about in print now. We've got about 19,000 of them, so we're getting there thanks to a lot of help. Folks, I could talk a whole long time. I would love to talk about leasing space because that's what supports all of our philanthropic activities. Leasing space in commercial buildings north and west of Boston primarily. All of the proceeds, as were mentioned, do go to Cummings Foundation. Cummings Foundation, in turn, distributes 90% of everything that we do in northeastern Massachusetts. This is where our funds came from. This is where we want to put them back. Our work colleagues come from and live in northeastern Massachusetts. Our clients and their employees are from northeastern Massachusetts, and we want to do that. I told Rick earlier that I'd take this opportunity to announce a new direction for Cummings Foundation, and we're consolidating our local giving in one program that has the 100 for 100 that many of you will be aware of, and sustaining grants. We'll have one new program for Advance in Massachusetts, which will be starting next year, or starting July 1, will be a $25 million grant program in the three counties, Essex, Middlesex, and Suffolk. Subsequently, we expect to go to Norfolk next and then expand geographically. But this is the new program that we have, and it's very much in line with what I understand is the direction where AIM will be looking a good bit at what are the contributions from Massachusetts businesses beyond the taxation that where they contribute mightily. What do they do that's not enforced in any way? And the organizations that are represented here this evening all of you collectively do such a marvelous job, and we all know it's very unique to the United States, but among the 50 states, the amount of contributions that come from voluntary contributions from businesses is extraordinarily bright. So thank you all for all that you do and for this great assembly here today. Thank you.